and the U.S. Department of Energy Assistant Secretary for the Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy Program, Dr. David Danielson, when speaking about crowdsourcing and how it's a great way to get thousands of people potentially to comment and provide input, said it's great because the smartest people don't all work for you. And I thought that was a great comment and to why it's a great platform through the website to do crowdsourcing. ORNL is not the first organization, of course, to do crowdsourcing. There are great companies such as General Electric, Local Motors, and others who have been making great strides in innovations through crowdsourcing. We started this activity back last year, and we had 3 simple campaigns posted on our website. And we were very pleased to have over 5,000 users on our website commenting and providing input and ideas around 3 different campaigns. One was around envelope technologies, one was equipment, and one was sensors and controls. And these were very general campaigns that basically just asked for innovative ideas around more energy efficient technologies in these 3 areas. We were able to post over 70 great ideas, and we had a panel of judges that evaluated each of those ideas for their technical feasibility, potential energy savings, and how innovative they were. The winners were selected and came to an event that we hosted at Oak Ridge National Laboratory in September of last year to present their ideas. We were able to 3D print one of the ideas, and one of the winners submitted an application to the Small Business Voucher Program at sbb.org as follow-up. And another one of the ideas is in discussion with ORNL around a potential cooperative research and development agreement for his idea. So we think this is a great platform for gathering new ideas, and for this year we wanted to take it a step further and develop a public-private partnership. And so what we've done, we've started with 3 great industry partners, A.O. Smith, GE, and UTRC. Tim is on the line with us today to talk from UTRC. And what we're doing is not doing general campaigns, we're actually targeting specific technical challenges these companies would like to pose. They have not solved these themselves and are excited about the opportunity to look for innovation in solving these technical challenges, and they are offering up cash award to the winner if a winner is selected. There's also opportunity for the winners to get in-kind technical support from ORNL for validating, testing, prototyping their concepts. We can also link those winners to the Small Business Voucher Pilot, which I mentioned. The first round of vouchers of up to $300K has closed, but the next round is opening up in February. And there's also opportunity for further collaboration with ORNL and our industry partners. So we're very excited to be presenting these technical challenges today, and specifically talking more details about the UTRC challenge on this webinar. So how does JUMP work? So on our website, which is web.ornl.gov/jump, you can submit your idea to any of those 3 current campaigns. We'll be adding more campaigns throughout the year. As they're added, ORNL is going to be reviewing the technical, economic, market readiness, consumer interest, or need aspects of each of those ideas. Once they're reviewed and termed valid, they're posted to the website where the community at large can vote and discuss and comment on those ideas. And that timeline is, for that phase, is approximately 8 to 10 weeks. And so the current campaigns that are online are going to close on January 15th, which will then move into the judging phase. So we encourage everyone to go out and look at those campaigns and start using the website. So the phase 2 is the judging, and we will be convening a panel of judges around those 3 campaigns. And the very best ideas that we've judged have the best potential for our industry partners to make a difference in the marketplace in regards to energy efficiency. They will get recognized. We'll also, of course, route them to the small business voucher application process, and we'll facilitate that matchmaking with partners to help move this technology and this best idea into the marketplace. And that process will be 6 to 8 weeks. So one question that we get quite often is around intellectual property. What happens to my idea once I submit it to the JUMP website? Well, an innovator or the person who's submitting their idea does own that idea and should protect it if they're worried about the intellectual property. They should definitely protect it before they post it on the website, because as you know, once you put something on a website, it's publicly available. Now that intellectual property can develop over time depending on if the industry partner or O&L add or co-create that idea over the process of collaboration. So there's a little bit of detail on that slide. So in conclusion, I wanted to just share the timeline for our current campaigns. The 3 campaigns, we did a webinar yesterday. The recording will be made available. We did a webinar with GE, and we have this one going on right now with UTRC, and then we have one at 3 p.m. Eastern with A.O. Smith. There are cash prizes available, and there are technical support and links to additional support available, and we hope that everyone will go online and get registered on the website and begin using the JUMP crowdsourcing platform. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Tim Wagner to go through this technical challenge from UTRC.
Thanks, Melissa. This is Tim Wagner, and good afternoon. First, I want to orient you to United Technologies. If you're not familiar with that corporation, it's the parent corporation for UTC Climate Controls and Security, which includes Carrier, the air conditioning corporation. Also, in terms of some of my background, I served on the panel that Melissa was talking about in the crowdsourcing initiative previously, and that was an exciting opportunity. And I was able to participate in the event at Oak Ridge in September, and it was a great event, and there was a lot of excitement around what Oak Ridge is doing in general, and specifically through its associations with small businesses and entrepreneurs. So I think this is an exciting opportunity, and I'd like to tell you about this particular challenge. So if we can go to the next slide. This is about energy use in buildings and how do we reduce energy use in buildings. This is a very important question because buildings in the United States consume 40% of all energy used within the United States. So that's a huge number. Specifically related to this, we're looking at the air conditioning systems in buildings, which use about 40% of the building energy use. And within that, we're looking especially at commercial buildings. So if you advance to the next animation, thank you. Commercial buildings, small, medium, and large commercial buildings have HVAC systems, that is heating, ventilating, and air conditioning systems that use a significant amount of energy, and this is one effort to try to control that in a more efficient way. Next slide. Currently, the controls in buildings, the HVAC controls in buildings utilize thermostats and occupancy schedules. And some more recently installed systems may have occupancy sensors as well and some other things, but typically they're very simple systems, simply controlled systems that are designed for reliability and use, not necessarily efficiency. Advanced building control approaches have been identified and have been shown to have the potential to save 5 to 15% of the energy without changing any of the equipment in the building. And this has been demonstrated through different investigations done by some of our national labs. And so this is one opportunity, but it does require some additional sensors and capabilities. So if we can advance one more bullet. One of the opportunities there is to utilize thermal energy metering to help improve the control systems in commercial buildings. But those need to be low-cost thermal energy metering, and that's what this challenge is about. Okay, we can go to the next slide, please. Currently, thermal energy meters, also known as BTU meters, consist of a flow meter and then temperature sensors to measure the inlet and outlet temperatures for a given zone or load in the system. And these can be in a water system or they could be in an air-driven system. The picture here is shown for a water type of system. So if you had a chilled water line, you could measure the flow of the water and the temperatures before and after the load in the building and determine how much energy it was using and how it was changing with time. If you advance to the next one, please. The cost of these BTU meters is about a few $1,000s depending on the size of the meter, which is expensive for a piece of sensing equipment in an air conditioning system. But it's not only the cost of the material of the meter, it's also what does it cost to install and commission that meter, especially in existing buildings. And that cost can be on the order of $6,000. So the total cost for the installed BTU meter is about $9,000. You can advance again, please. So the point here is that the meters are expensive and the installation and commissioning is even more expensive. And we have to address both of those in this challenge. So advance again, please. Because right now, thermal energy metering is not typically done in commercial buildings because it's too expensive. The systems can be controlled through temperatures, room temperatures, and other lower cost sensors, but it doesn't provide, those don't provide all the information that you would like to have. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So the challenge is to develop a new BTU sensor that, when compared to traditional BTU meters, has an error of less than 10% full scale and an installed cost of less than 20%. That is less than 20% of these conventional meters. The sensor could be an actual physical device that is a low-cost sensor that can be installed inexpensively, or it could be an advanced algorithm using other available system data to accurately approximate a measured value. Either of those could be an acceptable solution. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So, possible approaches to this, well, be creative. I know there are a lot of smart people listening in that have ideas that can address this challenge. But let me give you a few thoughts about areas that have been already thought of. If you go to the next bullet, please. So one opportunity is to install BTU meters temporarily and map the energy flows in a building, then remove the meters and use the information, the maps that were generated in programming the logic of the control system. That is an effective approach, and it is used in some large buildings, but it is not very scalable, especially for small to medium-sized commercial buildings. Okay, next bullet, please. There can also be novel measurement approaches. So is there a low-cost way of measuring this energy flow? Is there a low-cost way of installing and sensing the energy that's passing through the HVAC system? So there can be novel measurement approaches. Next bullet, please. And then there's an opportunity for a virtual BTU meter where there is no actual sensor, but rather there is an analog an algorithm that uses information available in the building control system to determine what the energy flows are. So that would be things like damper position or VFD speed or other sensors that could be used to determine what the energy flows were in the various zones of the building. So there are multiple ways of approaching this, and again, I would make the strong recommendation to be creative. Okay, next slide, please. And I'll turn it back to Melissa.
Okay, so this again lists the deadline for ideas is January 15th, and my contact information, Tim's and Heather's, if you have follow-up questions, and our web address for JUMP, which is web.ornl.gov/JUMP. So with that, I'll turn it back to Tyler to see if there's any questions that have been posted.
Well, thank you, Melissa. We do seem to have a question about general curiosity as to why installation and commissioning costs at present are so high. So I don't know if Tim, you'll be able to lend some insight to that.
Well, the installation and commissioning costs typically cover the cost of modifying, commercial systems, that is, systems in commercial buildings that require, fairly large pipes to be modified and in sensors to be installed, wires to be run. It involves plumbers and electricians, and therefore the cost is significant.
Okay, great, thank you. And I think Melissa, you might be in a better position to answer this one. We had a question about, could you just generally explain the public and the ORNL judging process, kind of how those kind of interface, the website voting and the judging panel itself?
Absolutely. So we typically have 3 expert reviewers on the judging panel so that we don't end up in a tie, and we'll work with Tim to identify who those are, but it's typically 1 or more from industry and 1 from ORNL, 1 or more from ORNL. So we'll have experts in this technology area collaborating and looking at all of the ideas. And I would point out as well that although we are looking at the voting system, so if one idea has 50 votes and another idea has 2 votes, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to rule out the idea with 2 votes. We're going to, the reviewers will look at all the ideas and look at their technical and market and economic energy savings potential before they're going to narrow it down. So the votes definitely are useful information, but all ideas will be considered.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Another more campaign-specific or technically inclined question. Are there any requirements for integration to an existing building automation system in specific, or any protocol of preference?
Okay.
That's a good question, and I would say the standard protocol right now would be BACnet as far as communication protocol, but I would say that at the idea generation stage, I would focus more on the technique and the approach than on the protocol.
Okay, and how about preferences on the type of sensors for the flow and temperature? Anything there?
I would leave that open. I think be creative and think low cost.
Okay, thank you, Tim.
And we're looking through to see if other questions have come in.
Yeah, Melissa, are we having reviewers, including any building owners and operators? There's one question posed about whether or not just having UTRC and lab staff review offers any risk of blinders.
That's a good question. We'll discuss that to see if we should engage other stakeholders in that review process for judging.
Okay. Are there any wireless BTU sensors available right now in the market to this end?
Yes, there are currently wireless sensors available.
Okay. And I don't imagine there are, or possibly there are, you know, extra points or value given to the use of open source software developed by DOE, or is it just wide open?
I hadn't thought about that. I would say that open source solutions would be preferable, but I would say preferable but not required. If somebody comes up with a proprietary solution that solves the problem, that could be the winning solution. Melissa, do you want to weigh in on that?
I would agree with your assessment, Tim.
Okay. Well, again, if anybody has any last-minute questions, you're more than welcome to submit them either in the Q&A box or via the chat window. You know, if you give a few more seconds to that. Okay. Another question from a lady about intellectual property. Who will own the intellectual property that is developed? I guess since he does mention developed, I guess he's more concerned about the process of accrual or collaboration as it unfolds during this campaign, or any collaboration.
So the person submitting the idea, of course, owns the idea, and if it's developed, co-created more over time, then that could change. There could be some joint IP developed with ORNL or with UTRC. So it will evolve as the idea develops, and depending on who the winner is and what the technology is, whether it's hardware or software, it will depend. And also wanted to mention that although anyone is open to submit an idea through the JUMP website, if you refer to the terms and conditions on the website, the winners need to be legal residents of the United States and over the age of 18.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. All right, it seems as though the pace of questions has declined somewhat, but again, feel free to squeeze in any last ones you might have as we wrap up the webinar. Just to, go over a few brief reminders. Please, again, visit the JUMP website. We very much look forward to hearing about your ideas, your comments, your votes. They're all more than welcome. As Melissa was touched upon, we had great success during the first round of ORNL's crowdsourcing initiative, and we expect significant growth and improvement even on that baseline this time around. I'd just like to thank UTRC, in addition to everyone here at ORNL. One last question, which Melissa, you may have already addressed. Can international students participate?
Anyone can participate in the JUMP website. It is an open to the public website. Winners of the campaigns need to be legal residents of the United States and over the age of 18.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so.
Melissa, do you have any kind of wrapping thoughts on the power of JUMP in terms of kind of transforming the market and taking technologies to scale fast? Any wrap-up thoughts while we wait for the last questions to line up?
Absolutely. We're very excited as this is a new forum to hear outside-the-box ideas that can potentially save energy and reduce greenhouse gas emissions for buildings in the U.S., the impact of buildings across the U.S. And we want to hear from as many people as possible, whether it be students, faculty at universities, small businesses, entrepreneurs. This is a way that we can hear from a variety of people who are maybe thinking about these technologies and wondering how they can make a difference and bring their ideas to the market.
Oh, okay. We have a question. Will the suggested ideas remain online after the competition ends? Yes, I can say that I know we certainly did that for the previous iteration of the campaign, and I suspect that, I know rather that we will certainly leave up all the ideas provided in this campaign for some appreciable length of time. I'm not entirely sure how long that will be, but it will definitely be available on the JUMP website. The JUMP website will not be going anywhere in the near future.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Tyler, do you have any other comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everyone, I'm sorry, that again, this webinar and the two others that we've conducted on the other campaigns will be posted on the JUMP website in the coming days. So if you have any questions, you can either feel free to peruse. That recording will also be making the slide deck available to those who have registered. If you have any questions, please direct them to the email addresses or sources of help on there. And again, we also listed information on JUMP website in the back, as well as the contact address if you have any questions. So I just want to thank everyone one last time for joining us, and I really look forward to hearing your ideas. Thank you, and have a great day.